All right. I think together we pushed all the right buttons.
We made it work. We
How are
did
you
it.
doing?
I'm good. Season 3, episode 22, Thursday. We made it. Friday Eve, summer solstice eve. Tomorrow's the longest day of the year.
Ooh,
But then they start getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
that would explain why it's 8:30 at night and the sun's still up, right?
That's it. Yep.
Well, 8 o'clock. Sorry, I said 8:30. It just turned 8 o'clock. Let me point that out. It just barely turned a couple seconds ago.
On time.
Like after we started, it turned. We
On
were early.
time.
We were early.
We did it. So you're not home, I see. Still.
Yeah, I'm still in the forest. There's a story there. Obviously, my replacement was supposed to come last night, and he had issues came up, and he wasn't able to be here. He just got here right around dinner time, and so he's here. But then I had to like pack up and everything and move everything, and then we've had a couple issues with like animals, particularly bears, because we've got. Sadly, a bear cub was hit about. I'm still in the forest. Yes,
The
a bear
next
cub
one.
was hit, like a quarter mile from our campground. Can you see the forest through the trees? Not through the bugs. Poor cub hit. It was killed on the side of the road. I stopped and took some pictures. I'm not going to show you. But little tiny black bear cub. And the ranger told me about that the same time he told me about that there's been an alligator sighted in the lake. This is day 3. We've been swimming in there. Now there's an alligator in the lake, they tell us. So I went a trip around the lake on my bike, and then I let my buddy take a trip around the lake. He made it halfway, and he found the other bear cub. And when you find a bear cub, there's usually a mama around. So we're right between where the one bear cub was killed and where the other bear cub was sighted. So this is basically home for mama bear.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
and
boy.
we've got a week's worth of garbage with, I don't know, watermelon, everything else, all the good stuff that bears like to eat.
Yeah, perfect.
Right here. So they're just cruising the edges of campground somewhere, and we're just telling everybody to stay inside after dark and don't swim in the water.
So we're going camping, and everyone just stay inside. Don't do anything.
And as soon as the podcast is over, I'm actually leaving. I'm going to be driving home. I'll be home. It's about a 2-hour drive, so I'll be home tonight.
Are you?
Okay, Amber.
Gloves are off.
I want to go. I have to pedal. I mean, even if it's just the weight of my legs is the only thing I'm actually pushing, I have to actually exert some energy. So it is technically exercise. I just use the throttle button mostly. I did do a whole ride this morning without turning the crank once.
Nice. Very nice.
It's been a lot of fun.
Virginia Letta says, did Mama lose both of her cubs? Just one. I say just one. One, sadly, but no, the other one's okay. The other one was spotted by RA's friend, and RA's friend turned around and came back and reported, hey, he's alive and well, which means Mom's close by. So
I'm probably mad about losing one. So
yeah. Yikes.
But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I know this is later on in the podcast. We went to the beach today. We went down to Wrightsville Beach, which is we're close to the south side of North Carolina, and we're just north of Myrtle Beach, right?
Okay.
So on the coast, just north of Myrtle Beach is where we were, and we forgot to pack lunch. Like my buddy and I, our 2 security for the camp, and so we're obviously eyeing the restaurants as we go by, and there's like nothing down there. So we found a Wendy's. I'm like, super convenient. You can stop in, grab some food. I was starving because I've been at camp and the girls have been cooking, and so it's not like gourmet. It's not gourmet. And so I ordered a burger, fries, a drink, and then I thought that's probably not going to do it, so I'm going to get some nuggets on the side. I ordered the nuggets. I'm thinking, great, this is great. I did not realize that Wendy's dips your nuggets for you. Like, you know how you dip them in the sauce and then you eat them? Wendy's dips them for you. I don't know. Maybe they had made this announcement on TV that this is something that they started doing now. I'm sure it's just like a service thing. Can somebody tell me if this is normal or if it's just my Wendy's?
I've never heard of it. I will say I've eaten Wendy's a lot, but never their nuggets. I don't think once. They did a limited time run of a ghost pepper chicken sandwich, which was incredible. Kind of as good as the jerky you got from Buc-ee's, right up there. And yeah. So, but no, never heard of it.
Okay, so they call them saucy nugs. I thought I was just getting nuggets, but he added all the sauce and mixed them all up in the sauce and then handed it to me. So I've got these soggy nuggets I'm trying to eat. The only thing he didn't do, I'm like, look, you might as well just stick them in my mouth at this point because you've done everything else but eat them for me. So,
or blow on them for you, blow on them to cool them off.
It's just a little. Thank you.
Oh gosh. Okay. Here's Grim Fate. It says they have sauced nuggets, but you can get them plain with sauce on the side. I didn't know this either. This is all new to me.
See, there was Queen Olive says there was a commercial, or wait, Crazy Cat Queen says there was a commercial about it on TV a few months ago. I don't have a TV. I do not watch TV. I just thought I was getting nuggets, and I was very surprised. Plus, he never asked me what sauce I wanted, and so he gave me some spicy buffalo. It was awful. I don't like it. It's like buffalo wing sauce, blue cheese. I don't know. It was terrible. And then he's like, "Do you want ranch with that?" I'm like, "Well, it looks like you already chose the sauce." So yeah, I guess I'll do ranch to try to drown out whatever you put on there. But anyway,
yeah, you got to be able to pick and choose what you want, and that's I don't, because I don't always start eating whatever I order immediately right away. Right, I'm one of those like bah humbug Scrooges about eating in the car and where I'm at. So if they did that, then I don't want a French fry in between my seats. I don't want it.
That's where they go.
It's a magnet for them, and I don't want soggy, saucy nuggets by the time I get home. That's what I feel like would happen. So no, that's too much for me. But that actually makes me want to bunny hop ahead here, since we're speaking food, into we've had a few different wedding stories on the show before. And actually, before I fully dive into that, our podcast, I have realized, because my daily routine and schedules have changed. So in the early mornings, I am in my car between 6:30 and 7:30 on my very short commute, but it's a commute. And so I hear a little bit of talk radio. And what I've learned from this, because in the past 3-ish months, I've probably pulled a story or two from what I've heard on the radio in the morning. The Not Relevant podcast happens on every morning talk show on radio, just in a condensed manner. They do about 5-minute segments of a non-relevant podcast. They do a couple stories, they do a couple fun facts, they do something that's completely not relevant.
They're stealing our idea.
Yes. There's copyright infringement going on all over FM radio and AM radio.
I will call a lawyer. I'm sure I can find one somewhere.
Yeah. But I realized it hit me today when I was listening to it, going, wait a second. But no, so speaking of food, and we've had some wedding stories on this before. This has sparked some interest from people. It's very, very controversial. And so a bride sparks controversy throughout her wedding because she sent invoices out, or billed every guest that RSVP'd that they would come to the wedding but did not show up. She billed them for the meal, their portion of all the meals. Big one. So they called it the ghosting. A pair of the lovebirds and their big day turned into costing you more than a friendship, because it was absentee invites. Found out the hard way when they received bills.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at this from both standpoints. First of all, they asked for an RSVP.
Mm-hmm.
which means you respondez-vous, s'il vous plaît type thing, right? They want somebody to let them know if they're going to participate, so that they can accommodate them being there. They say, yes, I'll be there. They buy them the meal. They don't show up. Here's my problem. Had they shown up, they wouldn't have had to pay anything, right?
Correct. If they show up, they get food. And so what's crazy, there's some people made a comment of they RSVP'd for one couple was herself, her boyfriend, and her mother. Her boyfriend got called into overtime for work, and that income is very important for them in that case. And her mother was too sick, so they couldn't go. And so then they got the bill, if you will. I didn't read it. Yeah, an invoice of it's $50 per plate. So that means she received a $150 bill because her boyfriend got called to overtime and her mom was too sick. So what if she goes?
What was the bill said? We said I do. Now this is due.
Yeah. So what if she goes? She's the one not working overtime and not sick out of the three. It's $50 a plate. Should she just go and eat 3 plates worth of food and then not get charged to take a bite of each plate and say, I ate, but I'm full? Yeah. What if someone didn't really like the food and they didn't touch the plate, but they were there? Did they get a bill?
No. I imagine the people who got a bill also sort of got crossed off. Just like, well, we know who our real friends are. They're the ones who eat our food.
Yeah, and imagine the gifts some of these people probably spent money on and sent, and all of a sudden they receive a bill. If that gift was on order on Amazon and not yet shipped, cancel order real fast on that wedding gift because I just got charged.
I'm surprised if the bride does this. I wonder if she also assigns the gift to people. So like, oh, here's their wedding invitation. Here's the gift you're supposed to bring. Here's your invoice for your meal if you don't show up. Sounds like she's probably micromanaging the whole deal.
Yeah, pretty wild. And I didn't know this either, because I've only been married once. But I guess other couples circumvent and try to offset fees by charging admin fees at the door for attendees. I didn't know that was a thing. A cover charge into a wedding.
You have to show the invite to show you're allowed to be here, and then you have to pay.
Yeah, wild. I think you could go down a huge rabbit hole of like different crazy wild things that happen at weddings and what people do, but it's woo. Wow. People are grumpy about it for sure. It wasn't well received by many.
Maybe it's a sign of how the marriage is going to go. When things with a rough start like that, and burning some bridges, maybe it's a sign that things aren't going to go right down the road. Say like. Find your partner's not necessarily true to you and just you, like a woman did in the UK with the help of a toothbrush. Now, how do you
incredible.
This is like next level sleuthing, right?
Incredible.
Arca Aperture. This is their level of investigation. Apparently everything has is connected to the internet now, and there's an app for that, right? And your electric toothbrush can be synced up to track usage.
Yeah. Make sure you're brushing enough and often.
So the wife can track the husband's toothbrush usage, and found that he was extra diligent about cleaning his teeth at odd times of the day, when he said he was supposed to be at work without said toothbrush. And no cavities, but also divorce papers, because what happened was he was participating in extramarital activities. And the toothbrush told on him.
On Friday mornings, when he's supposed to be at work, he's brushing his teeth around 10-ish a.m. for, I forget what it said, a month or months is what it said. And he tried to refute it at first, and she went, okay, whatever. So, no, he was having extramarital activities in their own home while she left for work, and he was supposed to leave for work right behind her. In fact, he hadn't worked on Fridays in months.
He had Fridays off.
He had Fridays off, but he told his wife he worked, and the toothbrush caught him. Man.
One more reason. No, just kidding.
One more reason. Get rid of my toothbrush.
But the dentist is happy at least. All right. I'm sorry. I've got like a whole I've got like a swarm of gnats going around my head. You see me like doing this, like it now helps. It really just pushes them into my eyes. But
thought you were just dancing. But
they're aiming for.
Of course. It kind of reminds me of something you put in here. It's not a story. I just thought it was rather interesting because I know there's smart electronic everything out there. Didn't think toothbrush would be one of them where you can track how long you brush and how far, and you get a notification you didn't brush enough this week, whatever. That's wild, but it's like a fun fact thing for me. So I just wanted to go over some fun facts that I think some might be new and interesting to some might already know these, and some think they're cool or kind of silly. There's a whole lot in this list I pulled up, which was end of March this year is when it was updated. So there's some new things to it. An older one, I think a lot of people do know this one, but you're a little taller in the morning than you are at night. So when you wake up in the morning, you're about a centimeter taller. And that's because at night when you're lying down, the spine stretches and decompresses and whatnot. So you're a little taller first thing in the morning. So for any of you aspiring sports people out there and athletes trying to become professionals, turn in your height in the mornings. And then after you get your morning workout in and lose some water weight, then weigh yourself and then turn that in.
You need that extra 1/16 of an inch. It could make the difference between making the team and not.
That's right.
See if I can get a sunset picture here behind me.
This one's kind of cool. Where chat participate in this one as well, because I didn't know this, and I actually didn't know the origin period, but I would have guessed differently. Where do you think the Caesar salad was invented? And I know there's probably some argument.
Caesar, but obviously, this is an easy one. You know,
right?
A2 Brute, right? Isn't that in Rome?
Yeah.
Caesar was big on lettuce, I think.
Yeah. I'm waiting for chat to catch up a little bit to see if, yeah, the last run says in Rome. Crazy Cat Queen says Vegas. We've got Vegas in a story later in the show.
They invented the salad bar, I think. That was different.
Yeah. We've got New York. We've got Italy. Upstate New York. According to this, you may think Caesar salad comes from Italy, but it was actually created in Tijuana, Mexico by Italian immigrant and restaurateur Caesar Cardini on the evening of July 4th, 1924. The owner of Caesar's Place was under pressure to serve an influx of Californians who were looking for a break from Prohibition. On the fly, he whipped up a salad using romaine lettuce and whatever ingredients he had, including the garlic-flavored oil, eggs, Parmesan cheese, lemon, and Worcestershire sauce. Word traveled fast, and Caesar salad became a sensation from coast to coast. So an Italian immigrant in Tijuana, Mexico, created the Caesar salad.
Okay, I love Caesar salad. What sort of dressing do you put on Caesar salad?
Caesar
dressing. There's a better one. There's a better one. I had it for the first time here at camp. It's called Bacon Catalina.
And Catalina off the Catalina Islands of California?
It's probably also made in Mexico. But I don't know where it's from. I'm sunburned on my bald spot. Man, that hurts.
It's the worst. I get it. It's a red dressing.
Yeah, this is
tangy bacon Catalina.
You know what I think it doubles as? Throw away your what's the sauce you use for shrimp?
Cocktail sauce.
Yeah, throw it away. Replace it with this. You will never look back. It is
really
unbelievable. I mean, your diet will probably not thank you, but
the first ingredient, I think, it's a high fructose corn syrup. So there's that.
It tastes great. It is so good.
Let's see. It's specific. Well, I want to read on this. It looks good. Oh, come on. Here we go. Ingredients. Vinegar, sugar, tomato puree,
Okay.
Soybean oil, salt, water. Contains less than 2% bacon bits. Um, Cured with water, salt, sugar, and some smoke flavor. Modified food starch, refiner syrup, natural flavor, natural smoke
Basically,
flavor.
it's health food, right? That's what I'm hearing.
It's Aunt Jemima's version of a cocktail. It's a tomato puree based with a lot of sugar and a little bacon, a little smoky flavor. I bet it's really good, like you say.
it's so good. It is so good. Just don't read the label. Don't use it sparingly. But man,
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
give that a whirl. I'm
I
going to
like
Walmart tomorrow and I'm gonna try it. Try it. Well, if they have it.
I like having meals where somebody else prepares it because they prepare it the way that they're used to it, the way they like it. And so I always get something a little different. Okay, I would have served it with ranch dressing and Italian dressing. They served this one. I'm like, hey, that's awesome. Um, Traveling is a bit like that, going around the world, seeing different places, trying different foods. And if you like doing that, the best career to be in is probably be a flight attendant. Uh, they fly for free, obviously, if you're working. And little known fact, they also fly for free as a courtesy on competing airlines. So
Right.
competing airlines will say, "Are you a flight attendant?" You check the box, yes, and they'll be like, "Hey, we'll let you." We move everybody around on each other's planes. That's the way it works.
It's a
You need to
family.
get Delta needs to get people there, so American Airlines can have flight attendants to make their next flight, and they'd all depend on each other that way.
Right.
One man, 35 years old, worked for the airlines, has been found guilty of impersonating a flight attendant at least 120 times to get free travel, free plane tickets between
Genius.
2018 and 2024. 120 trips. This is a
That's
common
so
airline
many.
policy that allows flight attendants and pilots from other airlines to fly for free. So he worked for a while. He did work for them for like 2013, 2015. And then 3 years later, he's like, hey, that was a cool perk. And he basically just would check the box and falsify the information. And apparently no one checks.
No one
No
checks.
one's
They
like,
just
let me call Delta and just make sure he's actually an employee. I mean, they probably do now, but at the time they did not. And so he would say, if he's going on American Airlines, he'd say, I'm with Delta. If he's going on Delta, he's with American Airlines. He said he 7 different companies he worked for, allegedly, all these different start dates, different badge numbers, date of hire, employer information, and nobody caught him until it all caught up to him. And now he's facing like half a lifetime in prison because these are like federal charges and wire fraud and everything else that they really frown upon.
that's so 120 is a lot. I mean, that is a lot. And that's what they say with thieves, right? You steal a Snickers, you don't get caught. So then you go steal two, then you go steal a case, then you steal a case of those and chips and waters and a case of beer, and then you keep
Then the whole
going.
Walmart truck, yeah.
And then, yeah, and then you take a truck and then because you get away with it. But 120,
He was going to Atlanta, Dallas, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, just all over the place.
the last round and says he ruined it for all of the scammers, all of us scammers. That's right. There was probably there's probably other people out there doing the same that could put a quick halt to what they were just taking advantage of and went, oh, uh-oh. And they're probably looking back into some of those things now going, who and what? They're looking at employee records.
Yeah. This is Culperistic says he shouldn't be forced to prison. He should be forced to work for Spirit Airlines for the rest of his life.
That's a good one. I love that.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. Hopping back to continue some of the fun facts.
Yeah.
That's completely not relevant, but that's why we're here. There's an orchestra made up entirely of, I believe it's four individuals solely with typewriters. I want to hear it. I want to find somewhere where I can hear
Clack,
this.
clack, 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 clack type. That's the sound?
Yeah. They've been around since 2004. The Boston Typewriter Orchestra. They do concerts. I mean, everything. And they're vintage typewriters. So, they sound just amazing.
It's cool, but I'm not sure if it would count as music. Maybe percussion. It sounds like something. There's a guy called Wintergarden, and I think he's from Sweden, and he built a machine. He called it a marble machine that he puts like 1,000 different marbles in, and then it turns the crank, and it's like this big. It's a marble run, so it carries marbles up to the top, and then they roll down. And when they roll down different routes, they trigger. They're controlled by pegs on a big music wheel, like a wheel that has the music programmed into it, and those little pegs release the marble onto like a drum pad or a kick pad or something, or the string of a guitar, and so the machine plays the music, but it's actual music. I mean, it's a lot of clack 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 clack, because it's this big machine that's running with the flywheel. But
That's so
typewriters,
cool.
I'm not sure if I'd pay for a symphony of
I don't
typewriters.
know.
That's basically going to work, right? In a cubicle all day and just listening.
Listening to it. It's Red Pen Foot, because I can't get over just Red Foot, but OMG, the Boston Typewriter Orchestra is for real. Yeah, we don't talk fictional stories here on the show. Of course they're real.
Straight information, informative, useful, and not relevant.
That's right. We didn't say they're good or worth anything, but I am curious too. A lot of people in chat said going to look it up right now because I'm going to check it out and see. I will after the show, because I didn't dig into it too much. I'm going to look it up and see if I can get any YouTube sounds from them from playing and see what it sounds like. There we go. Lynn Taylor says they have a video you can watch. That's cool.
I'm curious if they have like their own concerts or if they're like an opening act.
I guarantee you they're their own for sure. They're so niche or niche, however anyone says that's I guarantee you they're their own. I'm sure they do some opening act stuff as well, but
yeah.
I just want to understand what it sounds like. Click, 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 space bar, ding, backspace, boom. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's amazing. If they're the opening act, the main act would probably be the Beatles, right? They're the best, the greatest of all time when it comes to bands. Here's a fun fact about the Beatles. They broke up at Disney World.
Oh, but that's like the happiest place on earth, though.
Yep, that's where John Lennon was when he signed the paperwork in 1974, which was 4 years after they really parted in 1970. So it became official in 1974 at Disneyland. I guess Mickey notarized it or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. The whole cast and crew were there, and then there were fireworks to celebrate.
And then off they went. That's wild. Speaking of amusement parks, food is terribly expensive in every amusement park you go to. Food and drink and whatnot. Delivery, especially. What pizza? I mean, you can probably see the article, so you already know this, but I've seen Mr. Beast do like, I ate $1 million slice of pizza because it's laced in gold and stuff like that. So we're not talking a gimmick like that. We're talking you go to New York City restaurant and order their pizza. What do you think the most expensive pizza would be?
Okay, I'm thinking, let me just do the math here, okay? You've got your dough, your sauce, your cheese, a handful of toppings, and the box, okay? Above that, you've got some of your overhead costs for your pizza oven, your building, a couple staff. I could see on the high end paying $50 for a pie.
That would be fair. Oh, lazy retired lady says caviar question mark. It's included in this. Mini FS says 1,000. Let's see. The 4-meat pizza extra large 55 from Red Foot Pen. I'll never go just straight Red Foot. I'm always going to include Pen.
You need to just straight up back.
New York City restaurant sells a $2,700 pizza.
Nope, not to me. They don't.
Not to me, they don't either. And this pie should include, which you have to order 2 days in advance, by the way. So, like after the podcast tonight, I didn't get to prep dinner. I've actually had a lazy afternoon, and I kind of got behind on some things, and just thought, okay, I'm going to order dinner when I'm done. There could be a pizza. It won't be from there, even if I live there, because I don't have 2 days. You're looking at, it's topped with 24 karat gold leaves.
Of course, their flavor mostly, I'm guessing.
Yeah, of course, because that tastes so great. There's some ingredients here I can't
Nothing
pronounce.
tastes better than eating raw ore.
Yeah.
They eat wealth.
To eat wealth, yes. Stilton, I don't know, blue cheese, Hudson Valley foie gras, platinum Osetra caviar, French Paraglider truffle, and Almas caviar. Oh, which that's optional for an extra 700.
Of course.
That's what comes on this pizza. There's no way, if you go full kitchen sink on this pizza and pay over $3,000, that it's like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. There's no chance.
They just call this the combo. It's like, I can have a large combo. Is that give me everything, including the jewelry counter.
Camilla, perfect. Horrible combination. I can't. Jen Joe says, BOGO, buy one, get one.
I think they're hot and ready. So you just come in, they got them built for you. You can grab it and go.
Yeah. Oh, that's super
expensive.
That's something for someone who can literally just light money on fire, and they just go there to tell their other rich friends that they ate there and had that pizza so they can flex or something. There's no way that tastes great. And it's just the most amazing pizza anyone's ever had. That's ridiculous.
If we can jump back a little bit, I told you there's a bear in camp or right outside of us. There's a story about a bear in World War II. The Polish Army's 22nd Artillery Supply adopted a bear cub.
That's gutsy.
They named it Wojtek the bear, which I think means yogi in Polish.
I'm going to translate that actually right now and see what it's.
Please do. I'm not sure what it means, but the soldiers, they looked out for him, they care for him, they even they gave him a rank. He's a private, very private bear. As you know, bears do private things in the woods. Everyone wonders about it, what happens, but
do bears do private things in the woods?
Apparently, this one does. He's a private. They used the bear. I don't know how they did this, but they used the bear to move ammunition. During a battle in Italy, and as a result of the bear's bravery, he was promoted to corporal.
So he's a bad A bear.
Yeah, and probably fed some more scraps from the kitchen.
He can do more than steal picnic baskets. He's pretty good at what he does. So here's your translation. The elements Woj, W-O-J, and then Tek, T-E-K. Woj means warrior. Tek stands for joy. So the meaning, he who enjoys war, or joyous warrior, is
Happy
what his
fire.
name means.
Joyous warrior.
Yeah, that's his name. Joyous warrior. That's it's like a racehorse name and stuff they do. Why don't animals get all the cool names? Why couldn't we get something like that? Like, welcome to the Not Relevant podcast with the joyous warrior and the
you can do this.
Phenom watching weather guy.
Adopt a child and choose a really cool name, and
let it get made fun of the rest of his or her life.
Here's my son Wojtek.
That's actually kind of cool. I might want to do that. My wife and I actually discussed adoption. Maybe we go that route and pick out a name like that.
Wojtek.
It's
Wojtek.
What'd you name him after? Polish bear from World War II.
It's a long story. A corporal from World War II. This is interesting. I have a post office box, and it's very convenient, right? Just not convenient right now because I'm obviously miles and miles from it. But there are post offices all over the place. They dot the country, and some other places where you would never expect it. There is a post office underwater in the South Pacific.
No way. No, thank you.
You need to scuba down to it. I'm told that the lines there are longer than ever. And they have serious issues with stamps. They come pre-licked and quite soggy. But yeah, you
From
can
Wendy's.
you can send a waterproof postcard home if you can snorkel or scuba dive 10 feet down. A special flag is raised above the water to indicate when postal workers are in the water. That way, you're not diving down and standing in the line for no reason. But they've got a mailbox. You can get everything stamped underwater and dropped in the mailbox, and then I guess they dry it out and ship it regular post later on.
It's actually
In
pretty
case
neat.
you just need to add something to your bucket list, right? It's like, I've done everything. Well, have you mailed a letter from underwater post office? Probably not.
Did you know one existed? Probably not, unless you watch Not Relevant podcast.
Now you can put that on the top of your list.
That's right. That's here's something kind of
get eaten by a shark while mailing a letter underwater.
Yeah. Oh, get a postcard, get a shark, take a bite out of it, and then ship it.
Oh man,
One of a
sell that
kind.
thing on eBay. It'd be amazing.
That would be obvious.
Awesome. I've got so much salt water in my ears, and just from I came from the beach, and I showered and cleaned off. The salt just appears for days out of my hair after I've been at the beach. I don't know what it is about that, but I have no desire to be underwater anytime soon.
Do you spend much time on trips like this with your head submerged underwater at all? Like, do you dive under waves or boogie board or surf or, you do?
Yeah.
Do you, so I grew up surfing out in San Diego for many, many years, and it didn't happen until I started getting a little bit older. I say a little bit older at that time, probably my late teens. Things changed with the inner sinus cavity. And so in the surf world, we call it brain drain, because you end up collecting a whole ton of salt water up in your inner cavity that you go home with, and you just feel stuffed up. You can't breathe. You're congested. No spray, blowing your nose, nothing works because it's all the salt water stored up here. And what will happen is within a few hours, whether you're in the shower or you're home doing an activity, when you are bent down for a few seconds,
suddenly
waterfall. Here comes half the ocean's worth of salt water, just empties out. Gravity decides to do its thing. And it's the most instant, greatest relief you will ever get, because for hours you're just miserable and you're all stopped up. But all of a sudden, the floodgates open and off it goes. Do you experience anything like that with you being out there?
I never have. Usually it's like the half second after I come out of the water that I experience that, where I'm sputtering and it's all, yeah. And then I'm trying to get it out of my ears, and I'm jumping up and down sideways and everything like that. But
yeah, so do it long enough, and it'll find a way to store salt water in your face, and then you'll get brain drain. Is what we called it hours later, and it's the worst if you like have a long day of surfing. You surf early morning, kind of midday, and then maybe evening to sunset, and you're tired. You just go home, rinse off, and just get in bed because you're wiped out, falling asleep. I mean, no one sleeps well. Completely shut off.
You could drown.
You could. It's awful. It's
man drowning hours after leaving ocean. It's terrible.
Now
I can't go surfing. New fear unlocked. That's what it is. Speaking of fear unlocked, there's a story about a paraglider who nearly died. Now, you could say, yes, paragliders, of course, death is an option or a risk. Often when you're up in the sky, you've basically got a little piece of cloth, making you float in the sky. He was paragliding and got caught in an updraft that took him up to 28,210 feet, which we're talking about the same level that jets fly.
That requires a pressurized cabin in a plane.
It requires oxygen usually.
Yeah.
Pressurized cabin, oxygen, and it is freezing cold up there. Even during the summer, the clouds at that height are ice. So of course he nearly died, nearly froze to death in the sky after being sucked up 8,600 meters for those of you who measure with the wrong tool. Chinese paraglider Liu Gi experience dangerously low levels of oxygen and temperatures as low as negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which
Oh,
happens to also be negative 40 degrees Celsius. There's a selfie picture of him. He's literally a popsicle hanging from a parachute. It's
100%.
looks terrible.
It looks terrifying. It looks like a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Didn't have oxygen mask or thick clothing to help him endure freezing temperatures and low oxygen concentrations. Still, he remained in contact with friends on the ground via intercom and was eventually able to descend. Apparently, clouds suck, which in weather, it's a well-documented phenomenon where paragliders and hang gliders experience significant lift caused by the thermals under cumulus clouds, especially towering cumulus and cumulonimbus, which means
Those are the big fluffy ones, right?
those are the ones that they get big and fluffy, and if there's any sort of temperamental weather in the area, they just go. So, as a weather geek, you couldn't pay me to do anything in the air around watching any growing cumulus clouds that are starting to go through. Some of the big storms and the really strong, severe thunderstorms, some of those can reach 60,000 feet, those tops. They're called echo tops in weather. Can you imagine that sucking you all the way up there? And for those that are wondering, that's why sometimes you can have massive hail phenomenon, because if you take a little droplet of ice and it's 6,000 feet, they fall and they're catching moisture as they fall and they're freezing. And then they get shot straight back up like a little paraglider and they collect more on their way, 60,000 feet. And then they fall again, but they get blown back up and they keep getting bigger and bigger. So you get these things that get heavy enough that don't get blown up and they're falling from that high. That's why you get big hailstones that just go through cars and homes and everything else. It's crazy.
This was parachuter size hail is what it was. Paraglider size. It's the largest phenomenon ever experienced.
I need to clip that and send it to Reed Timmer and see what he can do to play with that.
Last Ronan, thank you very much. Good to have you here. Please don't unsubscribe just because of this show. We do this every Thursday to decompress a little bit. We need it after the Culinary case. So thank you very much. Glad to have you here.
We only ruin the channel once every Friday evening. Otherwise, it's a great show Monday through Friday.
Yep. Great facts. A couple other really quick ones. Honey never expires. There's honey that's been dug up like from the Egyptian tombs. They open it up. Still good. Stir it a little bit, throw it in the microwave or something. Just as good as the day the bees made it.
So cool. I would not have known that or guessed that. And I'm assuming that's natural honey, right? Not some of the bottled stuff that comes in that has preservatives. Or am I wrong? Do we know?
Bee made, just the regular honey. I am nervous. I'm worried like the bear is like gonna sneak up behind me. Could you guys watch my back for me a little bit?
That would make for a good show.
Back there, and we're the only people here. So
what does that be? No, I'm just kidding. I can't.
Yeah.
That's wild.
This one is sort of funny. First time tourist.
Yeah.
What the heck was that noise? Okay, that was screwy. There's something over there. I don't know what it is. That was not a bear, but it was like a noise. It's not a bird.
One of the kids? Are the kids on property, or are they off doing something fun? Or not fun, but just not a campsite?
I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's Jaws, not bears.
Something. It was like imagine if a bullfrog had the lungs of an elephant. It was like that.
It's a really big bullfrog.
And it's coming from the forest.
Mama bear just burped.
Yeah.
Jackie says the bear is a channel lurker. Kimby says it's Jason, which would be worse than a bear. Oh, this reminds me. Have you seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No.
Good. Okay. Good. You'll enjoy the rest of your evening then.
Yes. I'm in the forest in the dark. Great. Okay. There's something making noise. I have no idea what it is, but The deer around here don't make that sound. Okay. All right. I don't know where we were.
Grassel Green Enough says, "Where's the other guy who's supposed to be helping out?" Yeah, where's your helper friend?
They're in their cabin. I'm the only one out. Everyone's in their cabins except for me.
Oh, okay. So everyone's good. As a security guard, you're doing your job. Everyone's safe. You're putting your life on the line. Perfect.
It's coming from like a couple 100 yards that direction.
How far will your device make it while it keeps connection?
Thanks for your
I'm just if we have to get pings from your phone, that's all I'm saying. Oh.
It's got to be some sort of bullfrog or something.
Lynn Taylor, good point. Do you have any bear spray or a bear horn or a whistle or anything?
No, I've just got salt and pepper. They have to take me as I am. Got some sunscreen on. It's basically like Pam, you know.
Perfect.
They're black bears. I mean, I'm not worried about a black bear, but I'd like to know where they are if they're in camp.
So I feel like you security guards at this camp should take on the same concept as pilots and co-pilots do. For a very good reason. Pilots and co-pilots consume different in-flight meals. They don't eat the same thing. So if there's the Salisbury bingo, food poisoning. You can't afford to have both sick at the same time. So you and your other security partner or napping partner, whatever he's doing up in his cabin, consume different meals. Honestly, it's hard being a day late to relieve somebody.
The air conditioners running in their cabin will drown out any of my screams. They're not gonna hear me. It's all good. Sun's going down. It's beautiful out there though. I think there's a light somewhere that comes on. Hope, but
we'll never know.
Man,
he's rattled. He's frazzled. He doesn't know where to go from here, folks.
Well, we're talking about bears in bear country. One of the best places to go if you want to see bears is the Great North. Way up north. Think Arctic. Think Alaska. Alaska has a ton of bears.
Tons of bears. Been there 3 times.
The bears like the cold. They've got heavy coats. They like the weather up there. They do great. They're not liking it right now. And I'm trying to frantically get my phone so I can get the link up so I can tell you why. But Alaska issues first ever heat advisory. First ever. This is like breaking news yesterday. First ever heat advisory as temperatures soar to 30 degrees Celsius.
86 degrees Fahrenheit for those of us here in the States. That's warm. It does get warm there in the summer times, but that's warm for a lot of areas there. So
my friend's wife is up there right now. She's up like way north, and she had to travel down to Fairbanks, and she says, I'm dying. It is so hot down here. And she said, it must be 80 degrees. And they checked the thermometer. It was 60 where she was. Their blood's just different up there, right? It's thicker. But yeah, right now it's a heat wave. So I don't know, global warming or whatever, but bears are not liking it. That's why they're all down here, apparently.
That's your campsite as you frantically continue searching for what you think might be a lurking.
My eyes moving, just looking for. I'll just sit down and become a stationary snack.
Yeah, that's wild. I've been to Alaska, I think 4 or 5 times, but every time was January, and that's when you have 3 hours of sunlight where we were. But they say 3 hours of sunlight, right? It was so cloudy and still snowing that those 3 hours, it's just a very kind of bright nighttime in the middle of the day. So you wake up, it's black. You find your way to lunch. There's a little bit of light out there. We would run a couple errands, grocery store and whatnot, get things we needed, and then back to the hotel. And then it's dark again, and it's 1 o'clock. I don't know how they do it, but they do. I couldn't. But on the verse side of that, a good friend of mine ended up going and playing college hockey for Fairbanks, Alaska. And I remember I think he had a few cocktails and was playing golf. He was getting ready to tee off on the first hole. And so he called me, and I'm here in Texas, and it's, I don't know, 5 a.m. my time, maybe 6 a.m. So it was like 2 or 1 a.m. his time. He was teeing off on hole 1 at 1 a.m. in Fairbanks, Alaska, in the middle of the summer.
They could just book those tee times around the clock, as long as it's still light.
Yes.
I experienced that as a kid. I was over visiting family in Norway as a child. And they have the longest day of the year. I wasn't like way north. I was down on the south part of the country. But there was a very, very short night that was very light the whole time. And it was very confusing. And the worst part was that I wanted to play because the sun was up, and Mom's like, nope, it's time to go to bed.
Absolutely. Fun fact from Papa Weather Watch. Shout out to you. Guess he is watching tonight. Fun fact, Alaska, more people are killed by moose than bears each year. Which I believe. Every time I was there, I saw moose, and I know they can be very aggressive, especially when they have their babies around. And I never saw a bear anytime I was there. I know they're there, but the moose are just a little bit more prevalent. But the more you know, from Papa Weather Watch, who's tuning in live.
Welcome, Papa Weather Watch. Great to have you here. One more fun fact I skipped over. Paris, France, can be so disappointing to first-time tourists that they physically get ill with disappointment.
That's wild.
It happens so much that they've actually named the condition.
Really?
That it's like, yep, you've got the Paris syndrome, is what it is. Yep. Our Eiffel Tower isn't as impressive as you thought it was. It's, I don't know.
Wow.
But now I don't want to go to France. I'm worried that it won't live up to my expectations, and I'll just be ill. So I'll just be sick over it.
If you read about it beforehand, and now are you immune? Do you think?
I don't know. I think part of the problem is that that France has become such a touristy place in some of those locations that the tourists are really preyed on. Like a lot of people, they show up and they're like, "Yay, France!" and within minutes they've been robbed. Whether like someone volunteers to take their picture and runs off with their phone, or somebody scams them out of money, or it's the carnival type tricks on the side of the road that people are scamming you, and it's just, so I guess that adds to the disappointment when you can't get where you want to go and you don't have any money. But
makes sense. There's a lot of places like that around the world, and there a lot of cities in the U.S. are similar to that, depending on what parts you go to. Regina Crawford has a great comment here. Just says there's a bear looking over your shoulder, just in case you want. Thank you, Regina.
I would not be surprised at all if the bear comes over this way, because the wind is blowing in the direction of where the bear cub was, and we have like 17 watermelons in our garbage, just the rinds, which I think a bear like watermelon. Something in my head tells me bear like watermelon. But
which cabin is the said trash closest to?
Right here. This one, the one I'm in.
Perfect. Your backdrop, ideal. So there very well could be a bear right over your shoulder shortly.
I just heard a crash. I'm not sure if it's the ice machine dumping another tray or the garbage is knocking over.
Oh, so Mama Bear's getting into the garbage now. This is going to be fantastic. You're going to catch something live here.
I think the garbages are okay. Every tree looks like a bear now.
100%.
Of course, I'm blind as a bat, so
Well, you got the light for the camera blasting in your face, and so you can't see anything beyond that. Kelly says, "Wait for it." Versus, and he walks towards it. Of course.
It's a black bear. I mean, I'd be worried about the mama, but the mama's going to bluff charge anyway and then run. They don't really tear you up.
Not as bad as brown bears or grizzly bears. Yeah. It's going to be the gator that ends up sneaking up on you. This is what's going to happen.
I'm just going to walk down this way so I've got a little more space between me and the cabin if they do happen to come around. But
remember, you don't have to outrun the bear.
Yes.
You just have to outrun your friend.
My daughter, who I'm leaving here tonight.
Oh, by the way. No, not her. No. Oh. How so it's part of a camp. Daughter stays. I'm assuming stays through tomorrow or Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday. So you come home because you're being relieved. How is she taking it? Because you stayed longer than you're supposed to. Was she kind of attached and she's not taking it well that you got to go home? Oh, man. Poor kiddo.
We've already said our goodbyes. She says, I don't want to see you go. So.
Oh. So when we hit the outro music, you're going to deadhead to say goodbye to your kiddo and then you're hitting the road. Is that what you're doing?
Well, we've already said the goodbyes and done the hugs. She's like, I'm just gonna hang out with my friends here and then she's doing great. She loves it here. It's her first time. She's just knocked it dead. She was scared of water. She's been, doing cannonballs in the deep end. She swam in the ocean by herself today. She's just unbelievable. She was making tie-dye shirts a minute ago and just
how old is she?
She's just about a teenager.
Oh, perfect. What a perfect time in her life where she's going to experience all that stuff and with her friends and growing experience. That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool.
The whole team here is just absolutely incredible. I mean, I think we've got more adults than youth. So
cool.
There's food for days, especially watermelon. But
and the parent to bear ratios is good as well. It sounds like, so that part's good.
1 to 6,
Oh, I love it. That's so fun. This time of year is so great for so many kids. I know when I'm commuting through town in the mornings and evenings and whatnot, there's several different summer campsites that are active right now that are set up, some at local churches and some at some other areas. But seeing that the kids being driven in and dropped off and then picked up when I'm coming home and this and that, and seeing them all excited in the morning, and you can just see their little worn out faces in the evenings and they're just ready to go home. I mean, this time of year is so fun to see for those kiddos and what they experience and what they do. I mean, it's just, I know for me, I have a lot of memories from summer camps and a lot of life lessons. And I think my first crush ever was 6th grade church camp. I mean, that's just
gotta keep them separated. Yeah.
That's right.
That's funny.
That's such a good time of year for those kids, but
I wish it were a little cooler. I mean, North Carolina is normally hot in the summertime. We're a little early for the heat we're having right now. It was 94 today. Okay. Fairly humid. Add to the fact I was only supposed to be here one night, right? Just overnight. So I packed accordingly. This is day 3 that I've been here, and I'm so ripe. It's just people don't want to stand. The bear's probably scared away because I stink so bad. I've just been out here in the sun and sweating, the same clothes for 3 days. But
you're ready for a nice shower, your own bed, and a half demolished bathroom that's under construction.
The bathrooms here are better than the one I have at home, so I need to fix it. No, actually, update on the bathroom. I mudded all the drywall's up. The mudding's done. I'm not sure if the kids sanded while I was gone, but we think we're ready for paint. As soon as it's painted, we're putting the shower walls up and flooring, and it's almost done. I mean, we're literally at the final stretch. So
love it. That's awesome. So, speaking of final stretch, you commented, I haven't seen in the comments, maybe some have, but my newfound love, pickleball, that's my background. I've been doing it on the daily. It's been not just a lot of fun, but healthy for me. I've lost a good amount of weight. But I noticed the last few days, my lower back and my hamstrings have been getting really tight when I get home, even just to relax. So my wife, she's like, I really think you should just start doing some lunges to really, kind of work that out. And I said, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I just turned up the light and saw just how burnt I am. right here. I'm a lobster. Look at that. Yeah, look. That's the white. I'm going to go home and I'm going to swim in a bathtub of aloe vera is what I'm going to do. Just try to make it better. Thomas, you do your little stretches. Lunges. Thank you very much. Love the podcast. Thank you for coming on. Everybody for being here on June 19th. I realize it's a holiday. We're going to be back tomorrow with some port hopping. We might be picking up on a new case tomorrow. Not sure. I have to do a little bit more on that, but let's see, we have to update what happened with Brian Koberger. We're going to talk about that tomorrow as well, because he had a hearing just the other day. And I've got a bit of a drive ahead of me.
You do. I hope it's not too much of a bear.
Yep.
Good night, everyone.